close. And for a while there was close to 1-to-1. Because it seemed like there were some new breweries coming on, but there's now been a slew. Do you know, I mean, was he renting that? I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or?
That's what I'm imagining. But I honestly don't know.
I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or?
That's what I'm imagining.
Belgian, and then we'll end with the two.
But I honestly
seasons.
don't know. Sounds great.
Hold on with the mic. The mic is live. Yeah.
I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or?
That's what I'm imagining.
Belgian, and then we'll end with the two.
But I honestly
seasons.
don't know. Sounds great.
Hold on with the mic. The mic is live. Yeah.
I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or?
That's what I'm imagining.
Hold on with the mic.
End with the two.
But I honestly
seasons.
don't know. Sounds great.
Hold on with the mic. The mic is live. Yeah.
I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or? I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or?
Sounds great.
Hold
That's
on
what
with
I'm
the mic.
imagining.
Hold on with the mic.
The two.
But I honestly don't know. Sounds great.
Hold on with the mic.
I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or? I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or? I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or?
Hold on with the mic.
I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or? I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Do you have any idea if he was leasing that or? I know lease has a lot to do with these businesses.
Hold on.
Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lot to do with these businesses. Lease has a lease has a lot to do with it. Lease has a lot to do with it. Hello, hello.
Hey, everybody.
Is my mic live? I can't hear me.
Let me turn up your headphones. How about now? You got it?
Yeah, can you hear me now? I can hear you. Okay.
Hear me now?
I can
All
hear
right, cool. Cool. Hey, man. Welcome to the BlabberMalt Show.
Hi.
What's going on? Why are we delayed?
Hello.
How about now? How about now, everybody?
Can you hear us now?
It's a little bit delayed. Yeah. Let me scroll down here and see if they're muted. No, they
Okay, awesome. We're with professionals here.
Are you guys hearing the delay as well? But do you hear us twice? We're coming back twice. Give it a second.
Oh, see, Tom McCarthy's liked the stream. All right.
Yeah, okay. Still hearing the delay.
Is it scary that we are better remote than we are in studio? Usually it's the other way around.
Right.
Oh, that's a big delay.
We got the. Now,
I'm getting vertigo.
I don't know what's happening.
Where is the sound coming from?
See, I'm just going to take the headphones off. That way I can't hear it now. So. Oh, I can hear the phones and everything.
Okay.
All right, folks, we're gonna continue on with the show. I don't know what's going on with the audio, but we're hearing ourselves like 7 times.
Can you guys?
I know this show is shit, but go ahead and like and follow and subscribe and do all that stuff anyways.
Somebody out there
Please.
to let us know if you guys can hear us. So is the sound back on? Jay, are we? Yes. Yeah, okay, all right. As long as you can hear us, we'll worry about the echo later. Well,
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
But
My
yeah,
God, it's off to a rocky start.
here we are. Episode 123.
It's 123. This is November 18th, 2025.
And again, got our guest, Jennifer, in from Bell Tower. So thank you for making the journey. Thank you for bringing beers. As we mentioned, a bucket of them.
Yes.
And we're starting out right now with one of your beers, which is the Puffer
Belly.
Puffer Belly. Tell us about Puffer Belly.
All right, Puffer Belly is a California common. So, as a home brewer, I brewed a lot of steam beer. This was, back when it was actually called steam beer.
You're an Anchor fan.
Anchor fan.
Yeah.
I was an Anchor fan,
Yeah.
still am an Anchor fan. When the BJCP rewrote their guidelines, I think maybe 9 or 10 or one of those other, they released steam beer from an actual category and then renamed it California Common. Anchor had trademarked steam beer.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason they called it steam beer, there's a couple of different stories that I've heard. One of which, they had a cool ship on their roof, so when they would, after the wort was boiled, they would pump it up to the rooftop to chill the wort before pitching yeast. And obviously that would create the steam effect.
Come out. Okay.
I also heard that, or I read somewhere, they would krausen their beer for carbonation, meaning they would add younger fermenting beer to already fermented beer to packaged. And because that happened, sometimes you would have overcarbonation issues, and so as you opened or flipped up the top, it had this illusion of like steam, which was really just kind of like foam.
Yeah. Now, do you guys do that?
Yeah. Now, is there anything so for your California Common? Is there any steam involved?
There's no steam involved. Well, I do have a steam boiler. His name is Steve, and he's been sick for a while, but he's back with us. But Puffer Belly was named after the downtown restaurant that was in the old train depot in Kent. And it was called Puffer Belly, I believe, because steam locomotives back in the day were called Puffer Bellies. And so that's why it was named. So I kind of took Puffer Belly and steam and made a thing out of
yeah, that's cool.
calling the
Yeah, some
California
meaning.
Common a Puffer Belly. I like telling that story.
So we got to say, Rick Bell just pointed out you guys are on New Day Cleveland this morning.
Yes, we
I think
were.
that's important to highlight.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
So you're just doing the.
This is a PR week for me, man. I've been everywhere.
But it climaxes with being on the
BlabberMalt
BlabberMalt
That's
Show.
right.
I mean,
That's
that
right.
is
That's right.
that's when you know you've
It's
made
important.
Right.
it to the end of your tour.
That's right. That's exactly
Now,
right.
did New Day Cleveland have trouble with their audio and
They did
reverb?
not.
And,
They did
see,
not.
They know what they're doing.
It was
I
extremely
did not.
professional, and it was 4 minutes. Like we were on air, and then we were off air.
Yeah.
It was quick. It was very fun. It was very thrilling.
And was there something that they were promoting? Your chef was involved with that.
Yes.
If I saw something.
So Justin and I were there. He brought in some of his plated items on our winter menu, and he cooked the steak sandwich, which uses au jus that he makes with
Watch your
Schwarzbier,
mouth.
which I did not bring. Since
Got to
we
watch
already
your mouth
drank
on
it
the
this morning.
BlabberMalt Show. We don't
Yeah.
use that kind of language.
Schwarzbier. So we had, we drank some Schwarzbier and some Merriment and some De Sombra.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like a good
you're
time.
mentioning your chef was there. Where exactly are you guys located in Kent?
We are about a 3-minute walk from the bridge on Main Street. So we are in the West River neighborhood, catty corner from the Kent Free Library. Ray's, everybody knows Ray's, is about a 5-minute walk. Up the hill on Main Street is the Kent Stage, and just about a mile from our front door to Center Campus, Kent State, is about a mile.
Okay. And we were out there, right?
Yeah.
Back in
Yeah.
July.
It was
Wow.
in July, yeah. Episode 111. You know what? I went back to look at that episode because I just wanted to brush up on what we talked about. It was not on Facebook. So, of course it wasn't on Facebook. It wasn't on YouTube. I'm like, I couldn't find it. So I uploaded it last night. So you can go watch that episode now. Sorry, folks.
But you could find it on Spotify, though, right?
It's on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, hey, did you notice in the upper right corner we have the number of people viewing on each platform that we're going to?
Oh, look at that.
Is that a new thing for you guys?
Yes.
Brand new.
Oh,
We have
gosh.
a lot of new things. A lot of new things.
We have the likes there on the left. Yeah.
Yeah, when you like
Nice.
it pops up. You can see yourself on the chat. I haven't seen any YouTube. Whoever's on YouTube, say something. See if it pops up here. Oh, there's Jay. He's right behind us back there. He's doing stuff.
Good job.
Thanks, man. Pump up those numbers. All right, let's get into the Warloft here.
All right.
I played the thing. I don't know if it really played because, yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? So I got Carl, you're not here. You're on the list here, crossing you out.
Sorry, Carl.
You're not here. It's just Jennifer.
But if you want to see Carl, you can go back to episode 111 and see him.
That's
Yeah,
right.
see him. Yeah. He had a lot to say. Talked to him about his his early forays into brewing, and as well as Jennifer's. It's exciting.
A longtime high school friend of yours, right?
Yep.
And now helping you out at the brewery.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat.
Yeah, you guys are telling the story. People ask, how long you guys been together? Like, since high school. You should meet his wife.
That's exactly what I say.
What? It's weird.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So we could kind of recap, your early days in brewing. How did you get into brewing? How did you come across beer that was better than your gateway beer, which was vodka? If you watch that episode, her gateway beer was vodka.
So I guess, I read that. I'm like, I probably really did say that. Yeah. Vodka and I had to break up. It was
complicated.
It was a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So back in the mid 90s, I worked at a place called Rudy's Beer and State Garden, on the edges of Brimfield and Kent. And it was, I was vegetarian at the time, so it wasn't a great place for me to work because he had really cool steaks and chops and deers hanging in the freezer and all that. But what he did have was a beer selection that could rival probably anywhere else, especially in the mid 90s. So there was 8 beers on tap, and the regular contenders, Bud Light, Coors Light, Lowenbrau, light and dark. But he also had 60 different bottles. And so, when you're in the service industry, generally you are awarded a shift beer at the end of your hours. And so I kind of made my way through the list, trying different beers, and I discovered that I really liked beer a lot more than I thought that I did. So even though I joke about vodka, I was always a Bass Ale girl. I was a Guinness girl because that's what you could get on tap at the Loft. Downtown Kent, and anywhere else you went, if you can remember, that's generally what was on tap, was Guinness and Bass. Anyway,
but of those 60 beers that you worked your way through, is there something that stuck out?
Yeah, Skull Splitter. I was like, what is this thing, and why do I hate it so much? Like, I couldn't get over how strong it was, not just in alcohol, but also in flavor. It blew my mind. Also, what blew my mind, and I haven't had one in a really long time, is Lion, which is the Jamaican tropical stout.
Okay.
Which was unbelievably delicious. And I think after drinking Guinness and then you drink something a little bit more with some more heft.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It was pretty eye-opening. What he did have was a beer called Kronbacher.
Oh,
and
Kronbacher.
it was
it the sparkly labeled one?
It was in a flip top.
Okay.
So the Kronbacher, I think that is what am I thinking of? Not Koetstreiser. The Kronbacher that he used to get. He used to import it from Germany. So I don't think it's the popular one that we're drinking now, and I might be saying the name wrong. But anyway, I fell in love with the beer. My dad fell in love with the beer. So Rudy would order it by the case for us. And one of the reasons was not only that we love the beer, but I love the bottles. I wanted to save the bottles because I thought one day I would brew beer.
Yeah.
And it would be really cool if I could package my beer in these cool flip tops.
Yeah.
And they were amber, so they weren't Grolsch green labels,
A little safer.
So I worked there for 3 summers, and I actually had 3 cases of these flip tops. And so I decided I was going to brew my first batch of beer. Carl had a few under his belt. And so he came over and kind of showed me what he knew, which, to be quite honest, wasn't awesome because we were all very young, and I don't think that he like was super into the whole fermentation as much as it grabbed me. But anyway, the Bass Ale turned out great. It was in the flip top, and it was great. And my second batch, I brewed with my dad. It was a porter because he was a big Edmund Fitzgerald fan.
Oh.
We went to the Grape and Granary on Saturday to get our ingredients, and they were closed. And so we went to the little homebrew shop in Kent, which back in the day really didn't have a wide selection of pretty much anything. We got some cans of Cooper's extract, and we needed dark malt, but he didn't have dark malt because this is a little tiny shop. So we bought some caramel malt and we roasted it in the oven. So we actually made all of our, remember, we're doing 5 gallons of extract, right?
But
this is
still,
my second batch. And I thought that was normal.
That's
like
innovative.
you roasted your grains for the beer. And it wasn't until much later that I realized that, well, the only reason why we didn't have roasted grains is because the Grape and Granary was closed when, it was after hours. Unfortunately, they're closed like for real now, but that was my kind of second experience. And then when my second batch was fermenting in the bottle, I had met a guy named Daryl, and I permanently borrowed his equipment because he had gotten out of homebrewing. I followed him to Cincinnati, where he was living, and then we would join the Bloatarian Brewing League. And that was kind of like
The beginning.
that was definitely the beginning. We had no idea what it was
Daryl,
gonna
you're
do.
never getting that equipment
Well,
back.
Daryl knows that.
Yeah, I think from the last episode, you do still have it, don't you?
I have a lot of the original relics, yes.
Yeah.
But the Bloatarians opened my eyes to so many different facets of the coolness of fermentation. So I really got into pickling. I really got into mead. I started making my own wine.
how
I
it
started
starts.
doing
Yeah.
sour beers. I was constantly, I had carboys all over the house trying to temperature control because I didn't have all the big fancy stuff.
Yeah, you got to move it to the closet. Oh,
Yeah,
out of the garage.
yeah.
Oh, next to the radiator. Yeah.
I was also telling the sales guys I went out there last week. This is also pre-internet before it really blew up. So you actually had to know what you were doing. You had to know how to do math.
Well, math, we've
Yeah.
talked to other, and it was books. I mean, whether it was
Yes,
Michael
you actually
Jackson's
read-
or other,
yes.
it was you're getting books out of a library to know exactly what to do next versus, let me just Google it and see what temperature I should be at.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
a whole different world back then.
Yes.
I want to back up for a second. Talk
Yeah.
about, we just did a Gateway beer episode, and you were talking about your Gateway beers. I think, and maybe ask you if you think it's weird how much time we spend thinking about our Gateway beers or just beer in general. Because I'm thinking about the Christmas episode coming up, and we got John Lane bringing in a bunch of Belgians, and I'm like, I can't wait to taste that. Or, I think the Gateway Beer Show, my favorite part was the defunct beers. Just thinking about like Pete's Wicked Ale and Magic Hat and beers you can't get anymore, but how back in the day how great they were.
And I'll piggyback a little bit because it was after the episode that, Dave and I were talking, and it was like we actually came up with a couple other beers that we probably
should've thought of,
should have had on there that kind of were. And I'm thinking you're mentioning Rogue. I mean, Rogue back then was exposing people to a whole different profile of beers. We talked about Stone, Arrogant Bastard. I mean, what that did to people of opening up their minds to something that was not common at all. And it just completely, yes, we think about beer way too much,
It's
but
not normal.
well, it is normal, just way too much.
yeah.
I'm not Abby normal.
Yeah, no. All right, where were we?
We're getting thirsty. I gotta get the next beer here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We're going to go in this order.
So you got into beer, you're home brewing. At some point, you're thinking, man, maybe I'm good enough, and I would like to start my own brewery.
No,
How
that
did that-
actually didn't. That actually
No.
didn't.
Never crossed your mind.
It actually didn't. I never wanted to be a professional brewer. It was never something that I thought would happen, or it wasn't something I was pursuing. I'll say it like that. What actually happened is I was at the National Homebrewers Convention was in Cincinnati in 2008. I was president of the league at the time, and I was also in charge of Club Night. If you've ever been to
Club night.
one of these
Yeah.
homebrew conventions,
Yeah.
it's kind of insane.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and the Club Night is a big deal. I had got some bad news prior to that. I found out my dad had stage 4 brain cancer, so it kind of threw my convention experience into a little bit of a different light. But
Yeah.
after Club Night, 3 of the guys pulled me into a room and kind of sat me down, and they're like, we have to talk to you about something. And I'm like, okay. So this is Randy Mosier. This is Ray Spangler, who was the founder of the Bloatarians. And then I call him my all-grain mentor, who was King Swanky. And they pretty much looked at me and said, you have too much charisma and too much passion. When are you going to make your mark? And at that point, I was just like, well, if you guys think that I can do something, then maybe it's something that I do want to consider. So it really wasn't until I had these.
You got a nudge. Somebody nudged you.
Somebody nudged me, and then I started thinking about it. And so when I left my life in Cincinnati to come back home, and then I decided that I was going to figure out how to get a job at Market Garden because Andy was opening his brewery. So I did some volunteer work with Hop and Frog and with Thirsty Dog. I had ties to Thirsty Dog via Tim Ratstetter since he was an old Blotarian, and he spent some time in Cincinnati, I think, at Oldenburg Brewery. So it was an interesting foray, and I found myself at a lot of snobs meetings back in the day. Yeah. And eventually, Andy and I just became friends, and so I was hired as his first assistant, and that changed a lot of things for me.
That was the first place I saw you.
Yes, probably. Yep, for sure. Yep. And it was one of those deals where if I thought I was going to open a brewery, I needed to work in a brewery to figure out what I needed to know, what I didn't know, and that's what he taught me. It was. I hope he smiles if he's watching this. That it was always safety first. My brewery is set up, I think, to a pretty high standard as far as safety is concerned. It's fun work, but it's also very dangerous. And I think that in this kind of environment, it's really fun because we're all reaping the benefits of what fermentation can do, right?
For sure.
But the actual process of doing some of these things, especially on big equipment, is dangerous. Home brewers, you joke a lot about, brewing and wearing whatever you want when you're home brewing. Yeah. And flip-flops, they're not really really conducive to hot things falling on your feet.
No.
Tom.
Oh man, yeah,
So,
you can get hurt quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of hot, dangerous liquids moving
So
around.
Market Garden was there for me for the first 4 years, and then I was wooed away to Rockmill Brewery in Lancaster to help them transition from their 1.5 barrel to their 15 barrel system.
Wow.
So they were Belgian inspired. They had really crazy water, but it really did make a great saison. And I was there for just under a year to help them kind of make this transition. And then by the time I left, I found myself in Kent, kind of wandering and wondering how I was going to do this. And then through several meetings, Ryan and I kind of met, and then we finally got serious, not until about 2018, to put together a business plan. We started looking at places in Kent. We knew that we wanted to be within walking distance from downtown. That was a major hurdle to overcome. So every building that we saw was just not really gonna work for us.
So you're wandering around Kent and you're having adventures and just kind of, I did you have the idea? I think I want to do a brewery, or like what was that seed? And Carl's there, and you're probably drinking some beer. And what was that night like when you're like, "Hey, do you want to start a brewery? What do you think?"
Oh, this wasn't Carl. This was Ryan.
This was Ryan.
Yeah,
okay.
This was Ryan.
Okay.
So he had come over to my driveway. I was doing an all grain demonstration with label peelers.
Mm-hmm.
So before they moved to an all on, their catalog is all online now, but they used to have a storefront, and so we set up an all grain brew in my driveway, and I had about 6 guys show up, and one of them was Ryan. But that was even before I started working at Market Garden. So we had a number of chance meetings. I had also been asked to speak to the Kent Chamber of Commerce about beer, and she said I could talk about whatever I wanted. So this was in 2013. So of course I went in there and talked about the elephant in the room, which was, why isn't there a brewery in Kent?
Yeah.
I know how to brew beer. So it was, think about that. That was 2013. We didn't open until 2021.
So you're planting the seed politically already back then?
Kind of, yeah. It seemed like I was making myself known and making myself available, but I also wasn't willing to do it outside of Kent. I wanted to brew beer for the masses, but I wanted to brew it for my hometown, in my hometown. I wasn't interested in spreading
Were
my
you
roots.
the first brewery in Kent?
No, we were the third.
The third.
So Madcap opened in 16, and then Northwater is celebrating their 5-year, I think, this week. So they opened the year before COVID in 19.
And Madcap closed, right?
Madcap closed this past July, and yeah, Northwater was 2019, and then we should have in 2020, but COVID happened, so it kind of delayed our progress and everything for a little while. So it wasn't until 2021. So we just had our 4-year last month, October.
Now, we did go to the next beer.
We did.
This is one of your favorites.
It's my favorite beer.
Tongue in cheek. And what is this?
This is Vespers. This is a hazy pale ale. It's 5% with 25 IBUs. I love to brew hazies. I love to see people's reactions. It's not in my top 10 for beers that I want to drink after work, but it's just an easy sipper. Vespers is another word for evening prayer. I have.
You will notice a theme here with the bell tower, which is a old church.
Right. We are
And
located in an old church.
So between that and historical things of Kent, I think have a lot to do with the namings of your beers.
Yeah, for sure. So my hazy series, I have named them after, like I have Confessionals, our double hazy. I had Penance. I've had Sanctify and Testify. We have these cute little confessional coves that Bridget, who's Ryan's wife, so the three of us are the founders. She's an architect, and so when she was designing the interior space, really tried to mimic the arches of the architecture in the church, in the windows, and you can see that replicated throughout the building, and obviously our logo.
Yeah, it's a very classic looking interior and building, and we were talking about there is an operating church bell.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
in the tower, and Carl was telling us he put a rope up, but the bell is super heavy and it's
The
hard
bell is
to-
very heavy.
Ding.
So on our first brew was Saison de Clocher, which has been retired, but Saison de Clocher means season of the bell tower.
Mm-hmm.
And so we climbed up the ladder and brought some beer, and we dinged the bell,
Dang
and
the
then
bell.
did a nice little toast. I had a little poem or something that I recited because it was a big deal, and we have a bell, and why wouldn't you want to chime the bell? So that was
and drink beer like way up a ladder,
Exactly.
super dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. That's awesome.
Safety first.
Safety first.
That's not
in the
safe enough.
brewery,
In the brewery.
not necessarily in the bell tower.
So you mentioned it when you're down at, was it Rock Mill? Was
Rock
it?
Mill, yep.
Rock Mill. That's when you got exposed to the Belgians and some Saisons.
Well, I had already been brewing Belgians and Saisons
Okay.
because my homebrew roots, I had a couple of guys that were wonderful brewers. And so I had been, Saison I quickly latched onto. So
Okay, so
between
that was not,
Saisons and California Commons, I was constantly trying to make the best Saison I possibly could. So I think that's why I kind of caught Matt's eye, because I knew about Belgians. I had been brewing them. I had failed a number of times, but I was pretty confident.
So it was
in what
because
I
of that
understood.
background that you got there versus being exposed to it there. So you're already around. Because I bring that up only because for those who may or may not have had some Bell Tower beers, that is, definitely it shows on your profile, Jennifer, that it is one of the beer's styles that you like a lot and do
Yes.
a very good job with. Do different variations on it, and you got a fellow Saison
I
guy
love
right
Saisons.
here.
I love
Saisons,
them.
yeah.
That's I was wondering if the Rock Mill was a place where you picked it up, but it's more that you were drawn to Rock Mill because they knew of your background and love for that. Okay, all right.
So at Market Garden, we also had opened the Nano Brewery, if you've been to that down the road. And that happened 2 years into my stay there. So at that, and then after 2 years, there was 3 of us assistant brewers. So we regularly took turns brewing on that one barrel system down there. Actually, it wasn't even one barrel. It was more like 20 gallons. So we were like,
Yeah,
you
right
know,
behind the bar
doing
there,
cool homebrew stuff. But I did a lot of saisons. I think I did 2 sours. So I did a Flanders and I think I did 2 Flanders reds. And yeah, it was a fun playground to kind of exercise what I already kind of knew, but to take my home brewing to a 20-gallon on somebody else's penny was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's great. You can really experiment, and you're
Yeah.
like not out that much
Right.
ingredients. Just going back to the hazy, I think it's very admirable that this is a style you love and you do it well, but you don't really care for it. It's not often that you can find that in a brewer. It's you know the style, you follow it, and you're like, yeah, this matches what that says. I don't really personally care for it, but I still do it, and it sells, and a lot of people wouldn't do that. Cheers. I think that's admirable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that one of the reasons why I appreciate the process, because it's so different from brewing a Pilsner or, I don't know, it's so hop forward.
Yes.
It's got that juicy quality that doesn't really satisfy what I'm looking for. But what I love about what I learned, so I'm a BJCP beer judge, and so I studied the program. I understand the parameters. I understand, the nuances of being able to understand what an overall impression is when you look at an appearance and an aroma and flavor and mouthfeel, and you're looking at how all of those things balance depending on what that style is. So even though I don't generally tend to enjoy them, I still think that it's also still the number one, it's
selling beer.
every brewery that has it, they're going to tell you that that's the beer that flies off the shelves. So I do like to make my people happy, but I also have 14 other styles that you can look at and be like, maybe I don't want a hazy today. Maybe I do want to try a porter. Maybe I do want to try a pale ale. Maybe I do want to try some of these more classic styles. So I think that not only for our bartenders and servers and everybody that works there, they are being constantly exposed to other Belgians or old school American styles, or the ESB is really popular. We started doing English styles, so we'll get to try the Hideaway, which is our British brown, but it challenges me too. So just because I don't tend to drink them, I'm also a business owner.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to pour something that everybody wants to drink.
Yeah, and when you're judging a beer too, you can, as a judge, here's the profile, here's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's not about what I like. It's about, does this match what the pedigree should be, what
Right.
the taxonomy is, and if it does, I have to rate it accordingly. So
Yeah, it's one of my great.
So it's a
It's
perfect
one of my
segue
great
into
joys.
the Hideaway
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This is our next beer. So this is an ESB?
No, this
No,
is
it's
a British brown.
British brown.
We started with an ESB because I had one of Carl's brothers actually.
One of the Marx brothers?
Yeah.
Karl Marx?
Yeah. He was
Harpo.
harassing me a little bit about why don't you have an ESB on? You've got all these other classic styles. ESB I think would do really well. And I had my doubts, but we tried it, and so I named it for my brother, which is an old school Derek Truck song. But it fit, and it really was quite popular. It was even more popular when we brewed it the second time. But then I decided, since it was popular and it turned out really well, and I forgot how much I love a nice ESB. That's not so on the diacetyl side. I'm just going to talk about the ESB for a minute, and then I'm going to switch to the brown. But
This is really good.
yeah, it is.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I just
Diacetyl,
it is
but
just
ESB.
diacetyl. I was probably going to go there,
Yes.
because I'm super sensitive to it.
Yeah.
But I love everything about British ales when they're done well. So the brown was just a takeoff for the ESB, because I wanted to have English on all the time. So now we kind of do two ESBs, and then during the fall, this satisfies the autumn craving for darker beers, which a lot of palates tend to morph into when you're going from summer into fall. So if you're not quite into the Märtzens and Oktoberfests, and you really like your classic Americans, this fits. It's American ingredients, but it's still British yeast, still British hops. It's got enough caramel.
What's
in
that roast malt? It's like a real nice roast malt, but it's
pale chocolate malt.
yeah.
Pale chocolate malt. It's just enough to give it that little bit of roastiness.
It's like right up front.
It stops from being chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just got a really nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty dry.
This is pretty dry. This is a 5.7% beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a little higher than where I would like it, but that's how it turned out the first time, so I didn't want to screw with it.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
good.
that's
Some
actually,
of them I constantly rework, but this one feels pretty good. So it's an American strength, British style brown.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Pete's Wicked Ale.
Well, see, I know you'd asked a little bit earlier about what beers to possibly bring, and told me look at the list and stuff. And when I saw that you did have some browns and porters on there, which again, the season, but it's also I'm a person, I could drink that all year round. It doesn't have to be the winter
Yes.
to drink a good brown ale or a good porter. If it's good all year round.
Right.
And I'm so glad that you had it and brought this. So this is really, the malt in this is really nice.
It really is.
So I usually use, I recently switched to Avant-Garde Pilsner malt is my base malt for most everything, except for my British and my barley wines. And so this is Maris Otter. And so there is something very rich with that pale malt compared to a straight Pilsner malt that I particularly enjoy when it's hanging out with the British
suits the style,
yeast strain.
yeah.
Now the porter that I brought, we have on year round.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was necessarily by design. I'm going to stop
Everything's
there and
by
let you
design.
let you ask a question before I get too far off track.
I don't want to. Yeah, I like that. Can we talk about saisons a little bit?
Yeah.
Because let's talk about saisons.
Do we have to? Actually, this is again, it's one of the few times where I don't mind, because the last episode we got into a little bit with Jennifer, and what she has brought to my attention is that, again, saisons there's a broad range of them, and some of the ones that I've been exposed to early on are not quite the same as what she puts out right now.
Yeah, a lot of people, they want to put out a saison and it's just a horse blanket fest, and it's this is a saison. Yeah. Check it out. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that aggressive.
And the irony is, Belgian, because my understanding, the Belgian yeast is a big part of it, and Belgian beers are a thing that I really like. And like you said, I'm looking forward to the Christmas Belgian beers, because those are fantastic. Yeah. But a good Belgian beer is right up my wheel alley. But the saisons generally
wheel alley.
Wheel alley, that's a good one.
Not sure about that.
Stolen. I'm taking it.
I'm making good name for a beer.
That's a good name for a saison, man. Wheel alley.
Keep on trucking.
So
go ahead.
Anyways, my question is, so I'm just going to kind of bring in. I want to design another saison and get that in the fermenter. What I like to do, when I first got my 10-barrel system, I didn't have a fermenter that I could fit all that in, so I split it and do 2 different yeasts. But I do have the bigger fermenter now, so I'm going to ferment it with the saison yeast and then split it after package half. And I like to put some of it on Brett and let it sit. I've done that before. I think maybe my mistake was I wanted to leave a little bit for the Brett to work on, so I would mash it a little higher. So the thing that happened is the saison straight came out a little sweet, came a little bit maybe under attenuated, and then the Brett just took it down to nothing, and they were kind of bombs, in the bottle. So should I just mash regular? How long would you leave it on the Brett? Is the second question.
I'll answer the first part.
Would you ever
or the
put it on
second,
the Brett?
the second part I'll answer first. You should leave it on Brett until it's ready.
Okay.
You should be happy with it. You should be happy with its aroma, with its mouthfeel, with its flavor, before you package it. And you can stick your little thief in there. That pellicle is protecting it from all the oxygen. So, not that you should not have a cover on it. I think that you probably should.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. The other thing about saisons is I enjoy the 10 barrel that you're splitting into two. I did that as a home brewer all the time.
Yeah. It's a great way to get different beer.
Saisons can handle hops, but they can't. But Brett has a hard time. So because that Brett is going to take it under, it's going to take it into wine finishing ranges, right? Like 0.996 instead of like 0.5 Plato, which is where I want my saison to finish, which is extremely dry. But if you've got the bitterness on top of that extra dryness, then it's not going to have the impact on your palate that you are probably hoping for. As far as mashing, I will say, in my experience, and I know that there's so many different strains now compared to what I was using in 2005, right? So in 2005, you had a French strain and you had a Belgian strain.
Yeah.
So the Belgian strain was the classic DuPont strain, which is very finicky. And I've noticed that my experience with it was that I think a lot of brewers will tell you to just let it freeze. Well, what happens is the yeast can't multiply enough to actually finish the job because it's already too hot. So if you let it slowly ramp up, so if you and this is the fermentation side, this isn't the mash side. Obviously, if you're mashing high, you're going to get a little bit less of the fermentables going on. But in a saison, you want it to be super dry. So if you're doing Brett, I would say mash high. If you're not, this is where the split is going to become a little bit different. And also your hops, because if you're designing a 6.5% beer, I would enjoy 25 IBUs, but I wouldn't enjoy that if I have plans to put it on Brett or plans to put it on some other bacteria that's going to eat everything, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mashing with French saison, I have in my experience, it doesn't matter where you mash. Like that French strain will just eat everything in the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Because it is super aggressive. There's a little diastaticus. You really have to be careful with what you're doing. I really like starting them at 64 and then slowly ramping up. And then once I'm, like at 2 Plato, then I'll turn off my glycol. This is in the brewery setting. And then you have to wait. So generally brewers will know that their beer is done when you've reached the same finishing gravity 3 consecutive readings. And then you can go ahead and make your plan for the cooling phase and for the conditioning and all that. Saisons, unless you're at 0.5 Plato, like wait it out. Maybe rouse it, maybe try and warm it if you can, or you miss your mark to actually get it to that, like 50% attenuation, 75% of attenuation. Then you can kind of like talk about the 80 to 85 degree range. But I think you get burnt out. I think the yeast just gets burnt out and it just can't finish the job.
I liked the Belgian, so I would pitch with that and it would start and then it's just not dropping. And then I'd throw the French in there. Let it finish
and
it
then,
out. Then it'll finish it out.
And I think that that's perfectly acceptable. And I think if you like the character, because the Belgian strain tends to be a little fruitier. It tends to be a little bit more. There's something very special about it. Whereas the French, you still have some flavor, but I mean, it always finishes out.
Hi, Rebecca.
Probably the first
Thanks
time
for
I ever
liking
heard the French being aggressive, but
We're talking about yeast here.
Whoa.
So the saison that I brought is Décembre. It's a spiced rye saison.
That was my third question. What adjunct grains do you like? I like rye. I've done wheat, torrefied wheat or whatever before. is rye your favorite, or do you?
I like rye a lot.
Yeah.
So my pale ale is a rye pale ale. There's something really cool about using it, and I don't know. I just really love it. I was experimenting with one of the spices in here. It's called Indian long pepper.
This is not that one.
Oh, that must be the porter.
This is the porter.
I guess we're doing the porter.
Yeah, I'm saving the saisons for the seasonals for the end.
Oh,
You don't
okay,
mind?
good. No, I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all.
Damn you, Tom! I was all
So
I
we
was all
might as
crying
well-
for the
We might as well talk
saison.
about 1858, huh?
Yeah.
We'll switch gears. Yeah,
So
I like
now,
rye.
if you don't remember, 1958 was
1858.
1858. It was an important year. Jennifer's going to tell you about it now.
So,
What happened in 1858?
1858, the second built First Congregational Church of Kent was constructed.
That's right. I knew I heard that
And so I love the name of this beer as 1858 as an American porter because I get to tell the story of kind of the craft beer story of America from Jennifer Herman's point of view. And it all started when our church was built. And
Without
so-
that, you wouldn't be here.
Yes, exactly. Did I talk about this last? Did we talk about?
We got into it a little
1858
bit, but I want to expand on it.
Okay.
But tell me also about the beer, though, as we drink this. So this is a little bit sweeter.
I haven't had it in a minute.
Or am
I do like my porters not so dry. So I do mash this one pretty high. This one's got
Try to do it. Try to do it.
a lot of caramel. What was it?
Is it
This is the moist.
moist?
Oh no.
I don't know if people. Did you guys hear that? Let me know if that comes through.
We heard it. Oh, did you ever come
Yeah,
through?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
This one's got a lot of C40, C60. It's got a little bit of chocolate in there, so I think that it's got a really nice roundedness. I think that it's roasty, it's chocolatey, it's a little bit sweet, but it's not so dry that like the dryness comes from the roast, right? It's not so bitter, but it's also an American porter, so it's got 30 IBUs, so it's all EKG, all East Kent Goldings.
Is this around 5% also?
This is about 6%.
6%.
Actually, it is 6%. Yeah,
Okay.
it is 6%. And it finished probably about 3.5, so it still could be drier if it was an American, or I guess it is an American porter. So maybe that's not right. Let's not talk numbers, Jennifer.
Okay.
So in 1858 in America, there was about 4,300 breweries. And so neighborhoods had their own brewery, just like they had their
Is
own.
there going to be a quiz? I should be
Yes,
taking notes.
yes, you should. This is what. Yes, you should.
Right.
Just as every neighborhood probably have, if you can imagine yourself, there was a baker, and there was a butcher, there was a brewer,
Candlestick maker.
there was a candlestick maker, a blacksmith, all that kind of good stuff. Also in 1858, there weren't a lot of other things that we take advantage of today, like refrigeration. And so we had also discovered how to roast grains. So the Industrial Revolution had a really big impact on what brewers were able to do with their malts. And so porters were a pretty big deal in 1858. Every brewery was drinking porters. And imagine that. I mean, so here we are in 2025. Everybody has an IPA on tap, right? That's what we're drinking. And who doesn't have, I mean, there's breweries that have 8 IPAs on tap.
And
But
possibly
back
no
in the
porters.
day,
Yeah.
and possibly no porters, but back in the day, porters were it.
Yeah, everything was a little bit smoky. Everything was a little bit sour because
Yes.
nobody's cleaning anything.
Yep.
Nobody, bacteria, what's that?
Right. A lot of times beer was safer to drink than some of the water supply. So porters were really popular, and I think it's just it's a neat reminder that the craft beer industry that we know in 2025 was not the way that it was in 1980. So 1858 was also 40 years before Prohibition, 60 years before Prohibition. So we experienced, a time frame where alcohol was prohibited, which is
What a dumb experiment that
it's
was.
just insane. I have a photo in the brewery. One of the bartenders was back there. He's like, "What is this photo?" I'm like, "It's the temperance movement." I have a photo of these women wearing white with their state flag, very proud to represent what they are, what abolishing abolishing alcohol.
It's crazy.
And so when it came back, there was, this really interesting time frame that we don't really know very much about. So, and I often wonder what the temperance movement actually did to a lot of the documents that brewers had. There was 4,300 breweries. There had to have been records of these recipes. So we've reclaimed some of them. And people like breweries like Sam Adams have, they makes a great story, right? But just think about in 1980 when Sierra Nevada opened, there was 100 breweries from 4,300 a century before.
Yeah.
And then by the time here we are in 2025, and there's 12,000 in Ohio. There was, when I started professionally brewing in 2011, there was 25 breweries. By the time, and think about it now, we're at 420. Yeah. So we hear about breweries closing every day, but we also hear about breweries opening every day. So there is this really interesting, it's just an interesting piece of history that I think that we forget about because craft beer became so popular. It's always been popular, but now, brewers like me that have this history that they want to share and remind, remember our history, remember where we came from. Like, these were bootstrappers, these were home brewers that wanted more flavor, that wanted more diversity in beer selection.
Well, and it's interesting thinking about this. So one was kind of out of necessity, because to the point that the beer could not be distributed. And I remember I watched one of those History Channel shows about how beer built America, whatever, and it was how Anheuser-Busch figured out a way to refrigerate and actually send their beer in a bottle from point A to point B, because before that you couldn't. No. They sent kegs, and the people would end up watering down the kegs. It destroyed the reputation of the beer, because everybody just had their own thing, their own neighborhood brewery. Very much like Europe. We've had people on the show talk about in Germany, and every town has its own brewery. And then we went to this temperance. We went to the blackout. Then things slowly came back, but it seemed to be more larger breweries. And now it's gone back to those neighborhood breweries. So it's interesting how it's cycled for a different reason. So right now, refrigeration isn't what's driving it. It isn't because we can't get a beer from somewhere else. I mean, you run into distribution issues and distributors that prohibit more than refrigeration now. But it's a very interesting cycle that we've kind of gone back to that roots of wanting to have a neighborhood brewery, which was something that happened almost 200 years ago.
Yes.
It was a very common thing, then kind of got wiped out, and has taken 150 plus years to happen again.
Yeah.
I think it's also funny if you take the history from when craft breweries started coming up, then all of a sudden big beer, Molson Coors, AB InBev, they wanted to get some of that craft stank on them.
They were trying to mimic it.
So they started, Goose Island or whatever, and they start buying brands and incorporating them and trying to pretend that that's craft, but it's big beer. And then they found out, oh man, we suck at this. So then they started closing them down, and then they're just buying them to close them down and lock up the brands, and people got scared. But new breweries kept opening, and I don't think big beer is really trying to soak up those little brands anymore. But then COVID hit, and now THC and seltzers, and people aren't drinking as much beer, and people are worried again. And
there's certain
closing.
generations that aren't drinking beer.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
We are still drinking beer. So
The cool generation.
Gen X is still drinking plenty of beer. So I think that when you're looking to open your brewery, you really have to look at what demographic are you targeting. My target demographic was me. It was, what do I want to see on tap when I go there? And I mean, I stuck to it because I could have gone the hazy route. I could have gone the IPA route, but that's not what I want to drink every day.
But it is interesting being in a college town.
Yes.
Are you able to do that?
Where were you drinking in college?
What was I?
Were you going to bars and spending $9 a pint?
No,
Could you afford
I was going to the frat house and drinking cheap beer.
Exactly. So why would I target that market?
Okay.
What are they gonna do for me? I am here for you. You can come in and buy a flight of beers, and you can sample different varieties, and your palate might be expanded from Natty Light. But I bet after your flight of beers, you're gonna go buy a 32 pack because it's $5.
You're gonna get a couple buzz balls.
I was doing the same thing. I mean, so
So even though they're in the city of, that's not a market you're trying to attract.
no, it's not a market that I want to dissuade from coming in, but also I was a late bloomer as far as college goes. So even if you're going to college right after high school, you're 18, 19, 20, 21, there's like 3 years where you're not legally able to be drinking. So like I'm already missing like why am I targeting that? Why am I targeting
at least
that
half the
group of people?
population there? Yeah.
I think that I would have been in a very different situation had I been trying to glean that group of people to come in and try something.
Okay.
Because also even if they were coming in, what would they want to see on the menu? Everything that they see when they go into a grocery store. So when you go into a grocery store, what do you see? You see your mass-produced beers, and then you see IPA. And you come into my place and you see, how come there's only one IPA? Well, how many more do you actually need to have? Speaking of which, I have 4 IPAs on the menu on my brew schedule.
Having said that,
just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Because I like brewing them. I think that they're really fun, but I think that there's a time and a place for everything, and for an experiment.
I wasn't trying to say it's a doom and gloom because
No, I don't
craft
feel
beer
like it
is on the downward slope, and we have some closures, but there's new breweries opening. There's new people that have passion and they want to start, and I think it's always going to be there. And this will turn to it will become cool to like craft beer again.
Yeah.
I
think
swear
so.
it will.
No, I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
No.
I think it's going to stay stagnant for a little while. But the ones that are succeeding are doing something right. And unfortunately, you can have the best beer in town, but if you don't have whatever that magic ingredient is that keeps people coming back and spending their paychecks with you and spending their Friday nights with you.
Some of it's
really
location
hard.
too, I think.
Yeah, I think that location is, and that's what they used to say, back in the day when you were opening your brewery, location.
I mean, there was a time you could open a brewery anywhere, and it was just so hot, and it didn't matter where you were.
Well, you've been to Three Floyds, right? Like back in the day when you were like, you drive down the industrial part, like it's a mile down in, and you've got all these other businesses around you. Now that's popular.
Yeah.
Like I've been to Lost Abbey too, and that's where their brewery is. It's like, it's just in the middle. It's like they rented.
A
storage building.
A storage building, right?
Maria gives me crap because we'll go to a brewery and she's like, "Where are you taking me? All these roads. Also, if I had a Jeep, we'd be four-wheeling to get some of these places.
Cross the railroad tracks.
And she's like, "Are we there yet?" Almost. Oh, it's down that way. She's like, "Are you serious? We're going to that place?" I'm like, "Yes." We go in there. It's beautiful. Everyone's friendly.
Right.
Beer's great.
But getting there
is sometimes
a
little
sketchy,
spooky. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh man, can we do the Saison yet, Tom?
Do we have another one before?
We can save the Belgian, so we'll go out of order.
We're going out of order?
We'll do that one. We'll do those
The
two.
quarter? You like the quarter?
Everything's good.
Oh, good.
We'll end with lunch.
That's perfect. Everything is my favorite. Perfect.
So this is the
Brett Dickerson says, "Hi, Jennifer."
Hey, Brett.
So good.
So this is the December misspelled. Right?
Well, it's Décembre with an accent aigu.
How you doing?
Well, it's one of the beers that we brought this morning, and he goes, so December is, or I forget what he said. I said, yeah, Décembre is French for December.
Yes.
And it's called Décembre because it's a French saison that I use to ferment the beer. This is one of those things that kind of makes me smile because when we were talking
stingy, Tom.
about mashing temperatures and how I found that saisons don't really care, like they're just going to keep fermenting.
Yeah.
I did mash this one at 155 because
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to redesign it, but I can't. because the French just wants to eat. It just wants to keep on eating.
Now, it
So
does say spiced rye. So what
Spiced
is this
rye.
What's it spiced with?
So we have everything but cinnamon. So there's fresh ginger, allspice, nutmeg, and Indian long pepper.
Indian long pepper.
Indian long
Is
pepper.
that a spicy pepper?
It is a really cool. It's super aromatic and kind of musty. It's really sexy. It's actually really good if you make your own Alfredo and you use fresh nutmeg
Yeah.
in making Alfredo. Switch it out for the Indian long pepper, and it gives this new nuance. It's really very fun. But cinnamon. I love cinnamon. Cinnamon's in my coffee. I eat
My
it
buddy
every
had
day.
it.
But I don't enjoy it in beer, and I think that the beers that I had at the Friday session for the holiday showcase, they were so well done compared to what was coming out 10 years ago. They were so cinnamon forward that it just felt like you're just way too overpowering.
Yeah.
So
can be too much.
I decided that I wasn't going to go the cinnamon route. I think the nutmeg and the allspice, this is a little heavy on the nutmeg. But I think that what you don't recognize in there, that's the Indian long pepper.
Okay.
That makes it gives it kind of that nuance, like, what am I actually tasting here?
Yeah.
And is this really a Saison?
Yeah. My buddy Anel was going to come to the show tonight. He's a spicy Indian long pepper. You and Anel.
There's an inside joke there somewhere.
So it's a take on, obviously, Northeast Ohio is known for
Was there
their spiced
another
Christmas.
crowler of this one?
Yes.
Oh, we're going to save this for the show, dude.
Yeah.
We got to save it for the show.
Wait till you have the next one. I'm excited about
Oh,
that
okay.
one. That's
Gloria?
an award-winning one.
The Merriman.
Oh, yeah.
That's Thanksgiving.
I like this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This
I
is
like
really,
it.
it's a really nice savory beer. Like the nice thing about holiday ales, because we're into hearty food season, it's so nice with some of your bigger feasts kinds of things.
So,
you know what I mean?
are you is this a seasonal Christmas
This
beer?
is my
winter-
holiday beer.
This is your holiday
This
beer?
is my holiday beer. Also, my holiday beer is Gloria, which is my new rendition of a Belgian double.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of what Belgians do over the holidays with their spiced beers. Gloria, I think, has enough character that I didn't spice it. It is a rendition of Silver Bells, which was my 6.5% Belgian double. This one just happened to turn out a little bit bigger, so I had to rebrand it.
Whoopsie.
Also,
happens sometimes.
Gloria, I mean, it should remind you of Gloria in Excelsior Deo.
It does?
And yes,
Not for you.
and it was also named after my VW, my 71 Super Beetle that was named
I
Gloria.
was thinking of Jim Morrison.
And Van Morrison, right. So I get to tell all those stories when I talk about Gloria. But we'll
Yeah,
get to that
I
when
mean,
we
so
get
many
to-
holiday ales are brown ale based. This is a refreshing change. You know, it's
Yeah.
got that spice, but that Saison.
It's a little light. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter.
lighter.
It's lighter on the palate. It's lighter on the feel, like the overall impression of it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy some holiday beers in smaller quantities because
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
definitely, it's got a little bit of that holiday flavor. It's definitely not where you couldn't drink a whole thing of it.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not as heavy, not as pronounced with some of the harsh flavors that you sometimes get with some of the heavy cinnamon.
Mm-hmm. I think my menu description says something along the lines of this is a familiar treat during the holidays with a new twist. So it reminds you of what you're expecting to see in a brewery as far as holiday ales, especially in the Cleveland area. You can hardly get away with not having, what Thirsty Dog and Great Lakes have like pretty much said, if you're going to open a brewery, you better have one of these on starting in November. But Saisons they can handle so many different things that are thrown at
Oh,
them.
yeah.
And
So,
I think it's really interesting to play around with spices.
Since you brought up, so you're down in Cincinnati for a while, right?
Yeah.
Brewing.
Yep.
And that was earlier on, but still, the Christmas beer seasonal thing is very much
Oh, it's very
Up in
very
this
Cleveland.
area,
Oh, it's
Cleveland-y.
very Northeast Ohio.
yes, it is really. We travel Chicago, Michigan. Christmas beer, what's that?
No, we're
Yeah, what are you
spoiled.
talking
It's
about?
really it's a really neat thing
And
to
it's
embrace.
strange because you think about. I mean, obviously the Belgian Christmas beers are completely different, but the concept of having a Christmas seasonal beer is
Yeah.
not new.
It's almost like saying, "Oh, did you try my Easter beer?" Like, what are you talking
Yeah, right.
about? Oh, it's got marshmallow bunnies in it.
Right.
But
Wait a second, that's a great idea.
it is a very strange thing that it is a very Northeast Ohio thing.
You should embrace that. Like, that's a really cool part of history. Like, when we talk about this timeline from 1858 to now, I'm excited to be a part of that timeline, but I'm also excited to be a part of this timeline with all these other Cleveland brewers that have brewed holiday ales. If it lasts, then it still started with Great Lakes and Thirsty Dog, right? And so all these breweries, they have, if you were to been at the Friday event, I mean, there was 30 30 breweries there that had that half of them had spiced beers. It's just it's a neat thing to embrace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on board.
Yeah.
Get on board with it.
But it is growing up in Cleveland and being around it, but then going to other places, realizing that it is not a common thing.
Yeah.
No.
It's very nostalgic for here, and it reminds me of kind of like the leg lamp. So we all know what that means, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that movie is popular outside of Ohio, but I'm sure the first time you watch that, you're like, what is the leg lamp thing? And then you go to Cleveland, you see leg lamps in the at the bar, you're like, why? Well, why? Because it's Cleveland.
It's a Christmas story.
It's a Christmas,
Still,
like...
why? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just what we do here.
It's that French yeast, fragile.
The fridge.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
So this is out right now on tap at your place.
Yep, I
Correct,
can't
is it?
wait till December to tap it. So, I mean, it got tapped, I think at the end of October. Well, last year when we had Saison Fest was in September, and so I actually brewed it in July so that I could make sure that I had one on tap at Saison Fest. And so I try to get it in the schedule early enough so that it's on for the holidays. And it used to bother me that it was named December. Even though it wasn't December, but it's supposed to remind you of the holidays. Like the holidays, I think most people, even if they make you sad, because I'm one of those people, I'm almost a bah humbug, but my birthday's also in the in-between. So my birthday is between Christmas and New Year's. Like, this is a happy time of year. I'm a winter baby. I hate the winter. I have Raynaud's. I'm frozen all the time.
Yeah.
But it gives me a great amount of joy to release holiday favorites. So Merriment is that's this time
what
of
I'm
year.
looking forward to.
It also should remind you of being merry.
So
And
when is
like
your
Gloria,
birthday?
December 30.
December 30. Okay.
When's your birthday?
Mine's in October. My wife is on the 27th.
Of December? Oh,
And
yeah.
my daughter-in-law is on the 24th.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Christmas Eve?
When is your birthday?
You trying to hack me? Trying to hack my accounts?
I mean, since
Yeah.
we're talking, I was just being polite.
January 11th.
What's
January 11th.
What's your mom's maiden name?
No. Fool me once on this, Tom. I'm not falling for it again. You should have wrote
So
it
that's
down.
a pretty great Capricorn, Capricorn show in here. Yeah.
I'm Scorpio. October.
Well, not you.
Not me.
I was talking about your wife.
Oh, yes. The better half, yes.
That's for sure. What?
What?
You want this?
Yeah.
What about Gloria?
Gloria, we're going to save to the end.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Should we say the tart?
I would go Gloria first.
Gloria
I
first.
would think so too.
The tart is a really nice refresher.
Yes, can't wait.
We're excited.
Yeah.
Waiting for that one. We're just like turning it up and everything.
So, we're talking about the history
Yeah.
up until now. Where do you think craft beer and beer in general is going?
Oh.
What does the future hold with AI and
You
all
think
the
AI is going to get into brewing? I would not want my beer brewed by AI.
No,
I don't
me
know.
neither.
There's still a lot of nuances to it.
No.
well, marketing? They might be doing the labels. It'll look like our banner picture. Who are those guys?
That is a question that I don't really know how to answer, because if I spent too much time thinking about it, and especially what they tell me what's going on right now, I should be very scared, because
Well,
the
I
younger
mean-
generation isn't really drinking.
But I think that'll change. I mean, that waxes and wanes. I think people will come back to it.
I still
mean,
think that if you're doing the three, food is really important.
Yeah.
It's not the 2010s anymore, where you can have a tap room without food.
Yeah.
Food will keep them around a little while. Drinking more beer. I think that location is super important, and you've got to have a staff that supports and understands and is educated enough to be able to
That's true.
sell your product. It's one of my it's one of those moments that I realized as a home brewer, one of my greatest joys was obviously to share my beer with my friends. And I can still share my beer. We're sharing beer today, but that's not part of my everyday routine. Like, I'm there from 7 to 4, and I'm not around for service. I'm not behind the bar serving beer. We're big enough that they don't need me to do that. So I'm not working 70 hours a week like some
Yeah.
other people.
But you need to make sure you have people who can do it. So
Yes.
Do you spend time with them?
I don't spend as much time as I would like to, because we're like ships passing in the night. I think in the beginning, before we added an extra day, I would spend time with the bartenders, specifically to go over tasting beer and what it is and where the name came from. And I had a whole beer Bible, but I had 80
Beer Bible in the bell tower.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, and I got up to 80 recipes, and I couldn't fit any more in there, and then it just became too nerdy, and I don't really think that they were looking at it, because my staff is half my age, so I have to learn how to do it digitally. If I can put it all online and then they can just pull it up on their phone, then that's a little bit easier. But I love the idea that you can actually have a beer Bible.
Yeah.
And that it shows you the specs of the beer. It gives you a little history of the beer, gives you a little history of how the name happened to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And Matthias has talked about this. You know, you have your restaurant and you spend all this time making sure your menu is top notch and your beers are top notch and you're brewing them. And then you entrust your entire organization with the hostess who's
Yes.
15 years old at the front desk, and she's just on her phone, doesn't give a shit when people walk in. And that's the first impression of your business, is this person. So that person should be the best trained, the
Know your
kindest, the
menu,
most
know your
welcoming
beers.
person that you have on your staff, right?
Be able to promote your product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your the whole place. That's your ambassador for your
Yes.
business.
Yeah. It really is. It's very true.
All right, so tell us about Gloria.
All right,
You mentioned
Gloria.
a little bit. So it's a Belgian that's
So it's a 7.5% Belgian double. Very low IBU at 18. And I love Belgian doubles because there is so much going on. So this obviously has some darker malts, a lot of C60 and some Munich malt. But that Belgian yeast just throws that extra layer of complexity in there. It finishes drier than both the porter and the brown that we had. It's much closer to saison, but it didn't quite finish that dry. There's just some. It's very drinkable at 7.5%, and that's one of the reasons why I think Belgians are so good at their craft, because they can take something seemingly so simple and then make this beautiful thing in your glass, and you're just like, there was 4 ingredients in there, like,
Yeah.
there's no spices, there's no fruit,
no
yeah.
spice.
No.
Definitely a lot of flavor. A little bit of the yeast. You can get a little bit of the Belgian yeast in there. I get some.
Yeah,
but
that
not-
yeast just
It's perfect.
all of esters, and yeah, it's nice. That crystal gives it that almost raisiny middle palate feel.
Yeah, that's your special B for you.
I like that.
I like special B a lot.
So you would put this as a seasonal Belgian beer for you.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that this could handle an all-around, like it could handle a year-round place on my menu, but not if I have 15 other beers. So there, like I have to pick and choose which, and we still haven't really. I did want to start off with flagship beers because I really wanted to have it be dictated a little bit by what customers wanted to drink. And we've kind of narrowed it down, or I have narrowed it down to like 4 or 5 beers that just aren't ever going to go away. And so I liked having a little bit of variation, but I also love having those standards that, like, I got 2 guys that come in on Friday and they drink Sire Day. It's their Schwartz beer every Friday. So when it's the 1 week that it's not there, it's like, oh my God. Like if there's not a hazy on, I got some Mug Club guys that are just like, I don't know. And now they're probably not happy because I followed Confessional, which is 8%, up with Vesters, which is 5%. So he's probably
have to
not
drink
happy
2
about
extras.
that either.
Well, they're like, hey, you made me the way I am. So
Yep.
He actually says that.
you created this monster. So Jennifer,
Yes.
last time we talked, you were telling me you were a dream worker.
Oh.
You remember that? You're like, yeah, I have to think about things in my sleep and I dream about it, and then I.
How many beers in? No, I really do think that my subconscious is. I think that I'm really active.
Yeah.
You know, because I will go to sleep with beer issues on my brain.
Yeah.
And wake up and then
Figure it out.
feeling okay, and then go into the brewery like everything's fine, Jennifer. You just needed to sort it out. Like I think that there's something very cool about what happens when you're sleeping.
So I was watching a podcast.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast, and this
Amazing.
guy has a theory about that. He's like, he did some studies on dreams, and it's like when you're awake, your conscious brain is encountering things, mental problems, emotional things, physical difficulties, and then when you sleep, your subconscious says, hey, I have some ideas that I think you would benefit from rehearsing. So it could be I'm putting this jug of milk in my closet and I got a trunk full of snakes and I got to get them in my pockets. It doesn't make sense. But it's your subconscious saying,
these your dreams.
you need to rehearse these, and it goes back when we were, in the jungle, out on the plains or whatever. Your subconscious, when you're safe, sends you scary things that you can deal with. So when you're out in the real world and you're facing some problems, you have some strategies that you've already replayed over in your mind. So I think maybe there's some
So scary dreams get you ready
Gets
for
you
real
ready
life.
for
get you ready for real life. And
I don't disagree.
I mean, so I think I was like, I think there's something to that dream working that Jennifer was talking about.
So the anxiety when I can't get that combination for my locker every night in my dreams.
And
where I
you're-
just
yeah.
keep turning it to wrong numbers.
Why don't I have pants on and I'm in class and I have so many
Yes.
books? I'm trying to.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that has nothing to do with beer. We're doing, but
No,
I
the
thought it
term
was
paper
interesting.
that's due tomorrow that like you're sitting there with no clothes on
Yeah.
and everybody's watching you, but nobody notices that you're naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that term paper is due in 5 minutes. How are you going to get there? Who's going to?
There's
Yeah.
no way I can pass
Everybody's
this
watching you.
calculus
And you
exam.
wake up, go to
Everybody's-
work, and realize, oh my God, that beer is has to be ready in 5 minutes. How am I going to?
Yeah.
Thank God it doesn't work like that.
But maybe that's how you figure out the beer schedule. You're like, oh,
Maybe.
yeah, I have a slot right here. I rehearsed this
Yeah.
in my dreams. I don't know. I've tied it to brewing somehow.
That's good.
All right. Well, we do have the beer that we left for the end,
Yeah.
which you had mentioned a little bit earlier. The event last Friday
Yes.
at Forest City. The was a holiday showcase. I think. it was
Holiday showcase. Yeah, that was.
The part of the,
Yep.
the final event for Cleveland Beer Week.
Yep.
And at that event, this beer won an award, did it
Yes. So there were 2 separate categories because there was enough beer that was outside of traditional holiday beer, which is, again, back to the whole Cleveland does holiday beer, right? So people brought regular beer and then people brought holiday beer. So this is my other holiday beer because it's brewed with cranberries.
Which I'm going to say, just look at the color
So there's
of
no
that
Beautiful.
beer.
spice in there. It's very sparkly and very pretty. It's a
I'm hearing effervescent. so
yes,
like-
effervescent is absolutely the right word to use for this beer. So it's a product of co-fermentation. Yes.
Co-fermentation. So tell me what co-fermentation is.
So co-fermentation is when you're using two different strains to ferment your sugars. So I first use a dual strain of lactobacillus, and I'm using that to drop my pH to a level where it will turn into something very tart. And then once I have the pH level that I'm looking for, which is generally between 36 and 48 hours, I actually have to cool it down because lactobacillus works better at 95 degrees. So that's where I'm fermenting, that's where I'm adding my lactobacillus at the end of a brew day with no oxygen because it doesn't enjoy oxygen. So after, let's say, 48 hours, I have a 3.6 pH where beer that we're pitching is between 5.2 and 5.4. So it's almost 2 points lower on the pH scale, which is significant.
Yeah.
So I'll trash it to 70 degrees, and then I add oxygen, and then I'll throw in my Saccharomyces to actually ferment it. And then once it's done, I drop out some of the lees, and then I add cranberry juice concentrate. So it's super concentrated. I don't like puree because I want a super clear. I want an ornament in a glass is what I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly.
Especially when I brew
Crystal.
this beer.
Yeah.
And that is.
You guys like this one apparently.
It's like my favorite.
I mean, it is cranberry. It is tart. And what
Yeah.
is this?
It's beautiful.
5%.
5%.
5%.
Oh,
This is absolutely the beer for
You think
people
about-
that don't think they like beer.
I mean, for a holiday. I mean, between Thanksgiving. I mean, what a great thing to have at your Thanksgiving meal is
Yeah.
a cranberry tart.
Put this
beer.
in a champagne flute.
Yeah.
And be happy about that.
That's
So we
very
brewed
nice.
this one 2 years ago, except it was 6% and not 5%. It was called Merrily, and it was lovely. I loved it because I love cranberries, and I love a really good tart that doesn't have any of the THP is a byproduct of fermentation sometimes that I can't handle very well. It's that dry Cheerio flavor that
Okay.
you get, so I'm super sensitive to that, like I am to diacetyl. Anyway, I would drink it, but I would always have them fill it 3/4 and then top it with soda water. So I'm actually happy that this one is 5% because
So yeah.
I don't have to top it. Like the brewer is topping her beer with soda water. Like, what is happening?
Hey, don't show people that. Put that under the bar and do that.
But there's also no hops. So it's maybe you can't call it a beer because there's no hops in it, but lactobacillus doesn't ferment or doesn't do what it wants to do. Hops will inhibit its action. So there's no hops in the brew. To legally call this a beer, I'm not really sure where I fall. I don't know. Don't tell on me.
I mean, for tax purposes, a seltzer is a beer, right?
This is definitely not a seltzer. So
No,
this is all
no.
malt. This is all malt.
But I'm saying you can stretch. I mean, I would definitely consider this a beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that like some Berliner Weisses, because they have that co-fermentation activity, symbiotic fermentation, that's a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe hops can be added later on. This doesn't need hops. The cranberry speaks for it. If you like cranberry, so I named it Merriment because it's a little bit different, but it's still in the same family as Merrily. But I threw around side dish for a minute because like you always have cranberries this time of year on your table.
Yeah.
I have cranberry sauce. You can only buy cranberries. Like, I guess you can
Right
get them
now.
online. But now, like, I always have cranberry sauce. I love fresh cranberry sauce.
Oh, okay.
It's not
You
just
make
for
it-
Thanksgiving. It's not just for, like, any time that I have, like, a poultry or mashed potatoes and
Yeah.
gravy. Like, I got, and especially sweet potatoes or yams. There's something about that cranberry with that orange that just delights me. It's just delightful. Sweet
Yeah.
potato saison.
So again, so in the non-traditional Christmas ales, you guys won.
Oh, yes. So, yeah.
Was it silver?
Oh yeah.
Gold?
By the way, we
We
won.
got a gold medal.
Gold medal for this.
Well, we got a glass cup We got first place.
First place.
Yeah, Aeonian got best of show for their overall. Was it their? I'm gonna shoot your rye out. Or that was one of the beers.
It was
but-
something Santa.
Oh yeah,
They had that at the
it was delicious. Yeah,
replacement Santa.
replacement Santa. That's right.
And we
That's
did have
hilarious.
People's Choice Award went to our friends from Two Friends.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
I did
They
see
won.
that.
That's
yeah.
right.
Best
Well, cheers to your award.
Yes.
one for
Thank you very
People's
much.
Choice.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fun.
People's choice.
Yay.
This just won BlabberMalt choice.
Yay!
Let me hit
Oh my
the.
god, they were all so good.
There's cheering going on now.
In the background, if I could hear it.
The cranberry on top.
The cranberry tire. Woohoo!
Yeah, good stuff.
All right.
That's great.
Might need to start wrapping up here a
All
little
right,
bit.
let's hit the boil.
Let's hit the boil.
We talk about events. I mean, we did get a little news at the beginning of the show that we may want to share about an unfortunate closing of
Yeah.
a brewery.
Just announced.
So we did see that Bookhouse is closing at the end of this year. We know Dave was just saying you were just out there recently.
Yeah.
We'd been out there again doing the Cleveland Passport with them and stuff. Always enjoyed. The BlabberMalt Show was out there for an episode as
Yes.
well. While you and Matthias were out there. So Vaughn, hey, whatever happened. But beers were always great.
Beers were always great.
Always great.
Love
Yeah.
the place too. Great vibe, I thought. But best of luck to whatever next chapter might be there.
Yes. Cheers, guys.
So, cheers.
Yeah.
Now, on happier notes, though, we do have some events going on coming up, right?
Yep. LBC's having their Happy Christmas Beer Fest. Happy
Happy holidays.
Happy Holidays Beer Fest.
December
Coming
6th.
out. Remind me of some of the breweries coming out there.
Schnitz, Two Friends.
Two Friends.
Laughing Bomb. Brew Kettle. Terrestrial.
Yep.
There's probably a couple other more that I'm missing. Blue Monkey. Brick and Barrel.
Cool.
We'll be out there, and so look it up. They're on Facebook. Tickets are selling, and that is December 6th out
Yes.
at Lorraine Brewing Company.
That's a fact. What about Bell Tower? What do you guys got coming up? Holiday.
There's
Events.
a winter market that's
Mm-hmm.
happening. As far as beer events, I'm done for the year.
Okay.
For you.
Well, at
Come
your
drink-
at the
come
brewery
drink
anyway.
my
Yeah.
beer. I've had a crazy last 5 days. Yes, there is all kinds of stuff happening. All of our events are posted on our website. You can come to the holiday market. There's always food. There's always great beer. There are two wreath workshops that there's actually, we used to do one night, now we do two, which because it's so popular, it's like it's crazy. It's wonderful to have your church smell like pine. And let's see, geez, there's live music. We'll be decorated by Thanksgiving. So it's really nice to come into that huge space and see all the white lights.
Yeah, so
The longest night of the year is also happening. So we shut out all the lights and have candlelight dinner. Just regular service, but candles are on. It's also the winter solstice, so I brew our Apricious, which is our apricot tart. So Apricious is named after the old forgotten English word called apricity, which means the warmth of the sun on a cold winter's day. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
So we made up the word. Yeah. So we made up the word. We made up the word Apricious, so that it kind of fits. But it's happened the past 3 years that I'm able to brew that on winter solstice. So as soon as the
Nice.
cranberry's gone, because you guys are going to all drink it now, Apricious can go on in January.
So can we come out and climb the tower and bang the bell with a hammer?
You can. It's not accessible.
Dang it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't.
Right.
I can't
It's
allow
okay.
it. I can't allow.
Safety
You can
first.
ring it down below. Actually, I
Oh,
think
okay.
that the thing is done. I think
The pull,
I
yeah.
think the pulley thing is
Yeah.
non-existent.
It's probably better. It's probably safer.
I mean,
Don't
I
let
don't
people
know.
do that.
any home brewing events going on?
Well, I got the Saison it's on the pre-drawing board.
Okay.
I'm gonna incorporate my advice here and do something. Yeah, before it gets too cold.
Right, because you
Yeah.
have temperature control that is like
It's the garage.
right.
Nature's
right,
involved.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I have a heating blanket, so that's good. It's more difficult in the summer for me
Yes.
because I'm cheap and I don't have a glycol chiller.
Well, you don't need a glycol chiller. You can also do an ice bath. We can
Yeah,
talk.
but then here's the
Like,
thing.
it's
I
a
set
thing.
it up and it's running, and then we go to Marblehead and the ice runs out, and then the temperature goes up to
Okay,
80,
yeah.
and I'm like, whoops.
Maybe you
Well,
switch.
you
Maybe
set
switch
me up with a case
strains.
of beer. I'll come over and babysit it.
Yeah, hey, Tom, go over and put ice in
I'm
that
probably
thing.
up for that too. I mean,
Yeah. that's quite a drive
you
just to
keep
put some
you
ice
keep
in
track
that.
of your fermentation temperature and your yeast choice for your saison, and you'll
Okay.
be,
I'll be set, huh?
yeah. Pay attention to it. Like be
Or I could just bring it in the house and wheel it around to the appropriate temperate zone. Anyway.
You could. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so we got some stuff coming up. What's today? Is the 18th?
Today's the 18th.
Next week is the 25th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is next week.
Yep.
So, oh, that's right. So yeah, the
Like in 9
25th.
The
days.
Tuesday, the 20th of Thanksgiving.
We have Jen Brazdovich from Destination Cleveland. She's coming in, going to talk all things about the Cleveland Passport. I think she's going to give us some updates on the finishers party, which I hope to be a part of. And
And I believe some new changes coming for next year
Changes?
for the passport as well.
Cool.
So I think we might get some sneak previews on some stuff that might be changing there too.
going to announce it on the BlabberMalt Show.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. You, not 10 people that are still watching. And then
Cheers
this,
to you.
yeah. We were up to 15 at one point. We had 10 people on Facebook watching. That's incredible.
Is that good?
That's good.
That's good.
That's good,
All right,
yeah.
Good. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, a lot of people watch after the fact, but
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
good. I think the one on Twitch is a bot. He's auto typing
Auto.
stuff.
I don't even know Twitch.
Well, it's mostly for video games. We'll get
Oh,
into
okay.
that later.
Okay.
December 2nd, we excited to be going out to Great Lakes Brewing Company. Been trying to get them for a long time. Mike Williams is going to join us in the cellar or the actual brewery. So
That's
I don't,
awesome.
We're going to find out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of nervous for that one.
I would
I'm
be
excited.
too. I mean, that's like the thing.
That's big time. Yeah.
That is
The
big
mothership.
time. That is
Yeah.
the mothership. You are absolutely right. You better be prepared.
They're the OGs.
You better bring them beer.
We might have to bring them beer. What'd you guys bring? Or sausage.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
What would you
What'd you
bring
guys-
if they expected you to bring beer? What would you bring?
Boy.
Dead guy. I mean,
You'd have to bring
I
something.
mean, R.I.P. Rogue, but I mean,
I don't know. I
how
mean,
much more? How much dead guy you're gonna buy now? I don't know. What would
see,
you
but
bring?
my things, I was exposed a lot to the German beers. So
Yeah.
I mean, and I still, Warsteiner Dunkel, which you can still get, and some of the other German beers was kind of my first foray into non Budweisers,
Yeah.
even before craft was
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah.
So that's a style that I do really like. Is those good German Schwarzbiers. I mean, any good Schwarzbier from Germany is so just the flavors.
Yeah, they would
But
probably appreciate that, I think.
I think
Some
it
of
would be
those
really
old
fun.
classics.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
brought him something fun.
We got you a
Saison
gift.
Dupont.
We got you a gift.
Yeah.
maybe we'll bring them some Bell Tower beers.
Ooh. That means you'd have to come visit me because there's only 3 reserves.
We're
That
probably
would
going to
be really
drink those
funny,
tonight. And then the 9th of December, we're going to be here down in the bunker, Club Radon for the Christmas beer event. And we got John Lane from Winking Lizard is coming, sponsoring the show. He's bringing a bunch of Belgian beers and some other Christmas themed beers. It's going to be good.
That's an overnight.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Not for you.
There's,
but-
there's going to be like 50 people here. Yeah, come on back if you're
Oh
free.
no,
I mean,
we got
got Ann coming and Matt from Eighth Day are coming.
Oh, for real?
Yes,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you should come.
Oh, then maybe I should. When is that date?
That's the 9th,
the 9th.
December
9th.
9th, yeah.
That's
And then we got some
hilarious.
other stuff in the works coming
Well,
up
got some-
December and January. So yeah, a lot of good stuff happening for the BlabberMalt Show. So
So again,
Keep
thank
tuning
you,
in.
Jennifer, for coming out, making the
Yep.
trek. Thank you for bringing the beers and,
Thank you.
talking to us about your place. Carl, we missed you.
Thank you.
But
He's not on Facebook.
he's not on Facebook.
He doesn't do the.
But he
doesn't
might
do
watch
the-
watch your show just to see you later on.
I would be very surprised.
All right. Well, then forget it, Carl.
screw
Ignore
you,
me.
Carl. You're dead to us.
But no, thank you again. It was great talking to you about the beers and your journey. And encourage folks, go out to Kent. If you're out that way, stop and see them.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys are open 7 days a week? No.
No, Wednesday through Sunday.
Wednesday through Sunday. Full kitchen.
Yep. Lunch. Yeah, lunch through dinner.
So go visit their website, see what's going on, stop by and see them. And always tune into us on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, the BlabberMalt Show, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, Spotify, and now coming at you on Twitch.
Twitch.
You gamers. Nobody's going to watch us on Twitch. But we're there. We're everywhere now. Yeah, email us if you have any questions, concerns, if we screwed up, made mistakes. I'm sure we did. Yeah.
Go to the Beacons
all we
link,
got.
get your swag.
Yeah, get some shirts, get some... Is it bad I got water in my BlabberMalt glass here?
Not really. You need
Gotta
to
hydrate.
Gotta hydrate. But all right.
All right, that's all we got. So, you know what we say.
Stay multi, Cleveland.